What if everything you've been taught about being a CEO is actually holding your company back? I'm Allison Dunn, and welcome to Deliberate Leaders, where we help you build strong, thriving businesses. And today, I need to ask you a hard question. Are you following a CEO playbook that was written 30 years ago for problems that don't exist anymore? Here's what I keep seeing after 3 decades of coaching executives. Brilliant leaders are stuck using strategies from the command and control era, wondering why their teams aren't engaged, why decisions take forever, and why they're working 70-hour weeks, but their companies aren't growing. So if you've ever felt like you're working harder, but not getting the results you want, if you're tired of being the bottleneck in your own organization, or if you're ready to stop being the chief everything officer, this episode is for you. First, let's acknowledge what the traditional CEO playbook taught us. Be the visionary. Make all the big decisions. Set the strategy from the top. Command and control. Sound familiar? Here's the problem. That playbook assumes you have all the answers, that information flows up to you perfectly, and that your people are just waiting for you to tell them what to do. But if you're honest with yourself, you know that's not reality anymore. The new CEO playbook starts with a fundamental shift in mindset. Instead of being the person with all the answers, you become the person asking the best questions. Instead of commanding, you're connecting. Instead of controlling, you're creating conditions for others to thrive. Let me give you 3 specific ways to rethink your approach. Number 1, shift from directive to deliberate. The old playbook says, make quick decisions and move fast. But here's what I've learned. Speed without direction is just chaos. Deliberate leaders take time to gather input, consider multiple perspectives, and make thoughtful decisions that stick. Yes, it might take a bit longer up front, but you'll save months of course corrections later. Ask yourself, are you making decisions quickly, or are you making them deliberately? There's a big difference. Number 2, replace your open door policy with intentional connection. I hear this all the time. My door is always open. But here's the reality. If you're waiting for people to come to you, you're missing most of what's actually happening in your organization. The new playbook requires you to get out of your office and create structured ways to connect with your team. I challenge my clients to spend at least 20% of their time in what I call learning conversations. Not status updates, not problem-solving sessions, but genuine conversations where you're learning about your people, your culture, and what's really happening on the ground. Number 3, stop being the chief everything officer. This is the big one. The traditional playbook suggests that as CEO, you should have your fingers in everything. Marketing decisions, hiring choices, operational details, you name it. But here's what happens when you do that. You become the bottleneck, your team stops thinking for themselves, and you end up working in your business instead of on your business. The new playbook? Become the chief capability officer. Your job isn't to make every decision. It's to build the capabilities in your organization so that great decisions get made at every level. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Allison, this sounds great in theory, but I have investors to answer to, boards to report to, numbers to hit. I get it. The pressure is real. But here's what I've seen over and over again. Companies that make this shift don't just survive, they thrive. They're more agile, more innovative, and yes, more profitable. Because when you're not the bottleneck, when your people are engaged and empowered, when decisions are being made closer to the customer, that's when the magic happens. So here's your homework. Look at your calendar for last week. How much time did you spend making declarations versus asking questions? How much time did you spend in your office versus with your people? How many decisions did you make that someone else could have made? The answers to those questions will tell you everything you need to know about whether you're following the old playbook or writing a new one. Remember, being a deliberate leader means embracing ownership, accountability, and reliability, not just for yourself, but for creating the conditions where your entire team can do the same. That's our time for today. If this episode challenged your thinking, and I hope it did, I'd love to hear from you. You can find me at deliberatedirections.com or connect with me on LinkedIn. And remember, consistency beats intensity every time. Small shifts, deliberately applied, lead to monumental outcomes. Until next time, keep leading deliberately.